board gamers, and welcome back to Not Board Gaming. I'm your host, I'm Mark. So this week I had a little bit of good news. After being made redundant from my old job at the end of March, I secured a new job earlier this week, which I'll start in about 4 weeks' time. So as a celebration for myself, I decided I was going to buy a new game. I put it out onto the solo board gaming forums on Facebook, and a very popular answer was the game that I actually ended up getting, which is Dawn of the Zeds 3rd edition by Victory Point Games. Not only did I get Dawn of the Zeds 3rd edition, I also got the 3 expansion packs, which is the Stepping Forward expansion pack, it's the New Player Blues expansion pack, and it's the Rumours and Rails expansion pack. So I'm really genuinely excited by this game. I know it's been out for a wee while now, quite a few years now, but people really genuinely seem to like this game. I think it's kind of considered Robinson Crusoe with zombies, and I've got Robinson Crusoe actually arriving tomorrow. I've never played Robinson Crusoe. So I thought what I'd do is do a quick unboxing video to show you what you get inside Dawn of Zeds 3rd edition by Victory Point Games. So come on, let's tear this box open and see what guts spill out of there. So here we go. As you can see, I've got the 3 expansion packs, which come in these kind of foil type wrappers, which look a bit like, I suppose, trading cards. We'll open those in a bit, and there you've got the really kind of very scary artwork on the front. Dawn of the Zeds 3rd edition by Hermann Luttman. Here we go. You can see it does say that the game takes between 90 and 120 minutes. It's for 14 years and above, and it's for 1 to 5 players, and I do know it shines particularly in solo. Over here is really important as well. You can see the Golden Geek 2016 Best Solo Board Game nominee, so that's a really, really good thing. That means as solo players, you know, this game holds a lofty position. It may not have won in 2016, of course that's 4 years ago, but that means it's a really, really good solo game, and everything I read about it absolutely says that it is. So let's have a look what it says on the back then. It says, things are far from good in Farmingdale. Some kind of virus or poison is turning ordinary people into vicious zombie-like killers. You must lead citizens and emerging heroes to halt the Zeds' advances by killing them, attempt to coordinate the discovery of a cure, and preserve as much of the area and as many of its inhabitants as possible. There's no time to lose. Dawn of the Zeds is 3rd edition is a cooperative States of Siege board game where 1 to 5 players play heroes that must defend Farmingdale and its 5 outlying villages from the encroaching horrors. These heroes are supported by civilians, some armed, some heroic, and what little outside help is forthcoming. You must prevent the Zeds' incursion from reaching the town centre or causing so much chaos around Farmingdale that the government abandons it and you. And here we go, some particularly scary artwork there. There you go, it tells you again about how the game plays, and it says 2-sided game board, 1 game map, 4 player aids, 1 Zeds player aid, 200 cards, 3 counter sheets, 6 6-sided dice, basic game rulebook, level up rulebook, the A to Z rulebook, the Farmingdale dossier book, and the setup and epilogue book. So that's a lot of books that come in there. So here's the scary bit. You know, if you've seen my videos before, I don't enjoy this bit at all. I always think I'm going to kind of slip and cut the box, but you guys are going to see inside my Dawn of the Zeds 3rd edition by Victory Point Games, designed by Hermann Luttman, at the same time as I see inside the box. Wow, okay, so this is very exciting. Let me just come around this side of the camera. Oh, a little bit of jiggery pokery, getting the box open. Move that knife out of the way. And here we go. So the first thing we've got is this Victory Point Games Premier Line Catalogue. So this is obviously going to be some games that they have produced in the past. And on the back, what have I seen here? So Renegade by Richard Wilkins, better known as Ricky Royal, which is a fantastic, fantastic game. A really cracking solo game. If you haven't played it, check that out. I think it should be in everybody's kind of arsenal of solo games. And Nemo's War 2nd edition. Now, I know a lot of people are playing this, solo players are playing this at the moment. I've not got Nemo's War yet. Maybe it's something I'll rectify in the future. And Darkest Nights, I think that's a soloable game as well. So that's the Premier Catalogue with Twilight of the Gods on the back. Expand your pantheon. Right, so what have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. People, that's 5 rule books. However, this one stays very, very clearly on the front. Start here, and it's the basic game rulebook. Now, a little bit of research into this tells me that the rulebooks actually kind of, as you play the game, you will then incorporate more rules from other rulebooks, and your experience will get fuller and fuller. But there's enough in here to kind of, in the basic rulebooks, to give you a basic overview of the game. So this rulebook itself is 18, 19, some 20 pages long. Has a nice kind of quick reference chart on the back there, which will allow you to, obviously if you're familiar with the game, just kind of reference that. I really, really like that idea. A lot of rulebooks miss that out. I think it's absolutely essential when you're playing a game. You don't want to be flicking constantly backwards and forwards through a rulebook. If you've got a basic reference chart at the back, then that makes it so much easier. And I say the first rulebook is some 20 pages long. Game equipment is listed in the A to Zeds book. The story so far says, let me just get this right, the story so far, there isn't time to lose, so it's not going to tell us anything about how we got here. Introduction: in this third edition of our zombie apocalypse game, Dawn of the Zeds, we have added an extended narrative and both co-op and competitive gameplay. Of course, I am solo, so that will really kind of be just for, well, I will just be playing the solo here. There are 3 ways to play this game: solo cooperatively up to 4 players, or versus up to 5 players. The solo co-op and versus mode can each be played using any of the levels in this rulebook and the level up rulebook. Okay, it tells you how to kind of set up the game and how you do it with various levels there. Tells you what the base game is, some nice artwork in there. This looks really nicely laid out, to tell you the truth. And one of my joys in life is actually reading rule books, so I'm genuinely looking into this. Movement example. Yeah, genuinely looking forward to this. Movement example, an action phase example, hand-to-hand combat example. Okay, so that's some 20 pages long. You should imagine, obviously, I'm going to be playing through that for the first game or first couple of games, but then there are 4 other rule books or 4 other books that come with this. Let's have a look at the next one. So this one is the advanced rules or the level up rule book, and again this is let's see, 20, similar, 22, 23 pages long, and it looks like they've got an improved or an advanced kind of quick reference chart there. There'll be some more stuff added. So this, as you progress the game, you actually add levels to it, add levels to its complexity, add levels to what happens in the game, add new ways of, I should imagine, new mechanics, and it makes it a fuller experience. I think it's kind of a really interesting way to do things. You're not, obviously, inundated and kind of dumped and downloading all the rules in one go. You're progressing your kind of knowledge of the game and how the game plays through subsequent gameplays. So there we go. It tells you, as you go through the levels, which page to turn in the book. This will add various rules. And again, let's have a look at this. Level 1 Outbreak. New rules for Level 1 Outbreak. So you'll have played the first game, and then you'll do that. New rules there. An Eat phase. Level 2, an Apocalypse. New ideas introduced in the Apocalypse. Level R. Chaos is a marker left in namespaces by Zeds units. See Rule 4.7. It affects on earlier rules are, so we're adding to the rules. So it sounds like you've got to get familiar with one level and then upgrade or level up to the next level, and therefore it will add further rules there for you. And again, it's really, really nicely laid out. Walking Zeds. The Walking Zeds. Brilliant. It's really nicely laid out. Tunnel movement example. Level 5, the Director's Cut. I think that is kind of the pinnacle of where you get to in your solo game, and maybe in months and years to come I could potentially go to level 5. So this is the A to Z's rulebook. This is the comprehensive rules. So what this rulebook does, I believe, is combine everything from these 2 rulebooks into one comprehensive guide. And let's see here. It does say, there we go. This manual is not for the faint of heart. If you are new to the universe of Dawn of the Zeds and you want to be sure to learn each level of gameplay as it is intended, please return to the basic game rulebook to begin with, and the level up rulebook for other levels and versus game rules. The rules in this book are intended to provide a cohesive rules set that encompasses all the levels, and that includes some finer details to answer rules questions. Rules details that involve particular units or markers are addressed in the Farmingdale dossier. So, and that gives you the story so far there as well, so there is more narrative there. So as I say, I do think, because this is some, let's have a look, kind of 43 pages long, and you can see there's an index, there's a rules referencing sequence of play order, quite a complex one there, component visual index, there we go, quite a lot of information in there, but as I say, that may look daunting, but I do believe that is more or less both of these rule books in one, as well as some additional rules and some additional insights. And I think as you progress through the levels, you unlock certain characters. So maybe in some of the earlier levels that you're playing, you can only play certain characters, and then the harder you make the game, or the more levels you add, then of course more characters you can then add to the game itself. So this is the Farmingdale dossier. It says confidential, Dawn of the Dead's 3rd edition, and what this is it tells you about the various Zeds that are in the book, the disease spreaders, the status markers, and the units and unit types. So this is kind of an overview and a reference on the various icons that are in the game, what they do, how you use them. I think, yeah, we've got some stuff on some of the heroes or some of the combatants that you will be playing with here as well. You've got Zhao Kozakowski, who's an anti-hero at the top there. Dr. Martius, Natalia Martius. So yeah, quite a lot of characters in this book. So I think, as I say, that is more kind of an overview and a guide on the characters and on the iconography, which is good because I think there's a fair amount of iconography. Whew, right. This is the final of the 5 books that you get there, and this is the setup and epilogue book. So what is this? I think it obviously tells you how to set it up and maybe gives you your victory conditions. So we've got some component visual index there, tells you all the various components, and it does say, get that down, this book provides setup and victory conditions for the various game levels, for the different game levels included with Dawn of the Zeds 3rd edition. These levels are introduced in the order they should be played. Each level presents new rules, units and cards to add to the ones you learned about in the previous level, so the game continues to expand as you move up to the next level. At the end of the book, you can find out how you scored in your game, and read your epilogue. If this is your very first game of Dawn of the Zeds, see the video at blah blah blah. Okay, so this tells you how to set up for each level, and then you have the various epilogues there, which I'll not spoil for people. Wow, read that and wait, people. I love reading rule books, yeah, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rule books to read there, or 5 variants on rule books to read there. Looking forward to that. Now we're going to get on to the actual game components themselves, and the first up we have this double-sided game board. So I'll open that up and let's have a look at that. So here's the game board laid out, and you can see the very muted kind of colours, the greens, the browns, the yellows, the blues, etc., all very muted, looking like a sense of decay. And this down here says side A. So this is I should imagine the first side of the double-sided board. I can only assume, and I don't know, and obviously I'll find out as I play the game, that as you progress in either levels or through the game itself, that at some point you will flip over to the other side. But you can see that we've got kind of Farmingdale there, Farmingdale University, how to get to Beauville, we've got the Mall District, we've got the farm, we've got a jail, we've got some super weapons down there, and here we've got some form of trackers or actions, Zeds actions. So that must be your actions and Zeds actions. We have supplies going across there, ammo, and infection going from 1, which is green, through 7, 8 and 9, which are orange, through 10, 11 and 12, and then on to 13, and those are red. And yeah, don't like the look of that there. -1 infection, antidote heal action, or -2 dice infection is an outbreak. Don't know what that means. +1 infection, hand to hand, restore order, hospital save, disease spreader, refugees arrival, +2 infection, refugees devoured. Again, that doesn't sound good. We have a suburbs track down here. a jail, obviously, and a nuclear plant. It's a post-apocalyptic zombie film. Of course, it's going to have a nuclear plant. Let's switch over to side B. And there we go. So you can see that the jail has already gone from here. We've got some catacombs. Dr. Martusa's office. So some of it's the same layout, of course. It's all linked the same, but you got rid of the track and you got rid of the jail from here. So this looks like a next level down kind of thing. So you've got some subterranean stuff going on in here. Let's have a look. Yeah, I wonder if that's subterranean. And therefore there must be some way that you will add back onto the kind of the tracks and the jail icons that are on the first side just there. Okay, so that's an interesting double-sided board. No idea what either side means just yet. Let's have a look back into some of these components now. Okay, so back into the actual components, and it says we've got three kind of cardboard punch-outs in the contents there. You can see the thickness is that's not really focusing. It's okay, the thickness. Yeah, it's okay on that. Up at the top here we've got what must be the various heroes, and maybe the red ones are anti-heroes, I don't know. And then these look like various zombie creatures down here. You can see the colour palette is quite muted, nothing's really contrasting and bright apart from maybe these icons here. We've got some green kind of CPR mark and CPR kind of what they called that measure your kind of pulse, etc. markers. Defiant, Civ leader, well armed. Let's have a look at the back. It's more of the same on the back. So the zombie markers are kind of half white and half grey, sorry, and half red at the front, and then all red on the back. And it happens for all of them actually. There's a red undertow on the back there, so I wonder if the back means something different. Okay, so that's sheet number 1. Sheet number 2, we have more Defiant at the top here. We have these blue markers. I have no idea what any of these do yet. It looks like some kind of barricades. Leader, toxic, smart, stench, tough, fast, zen, plague of lawyers. Goodies. There's a tile that says goodies. Looks like some weapon or ammo. And again, some various kind of things down here. Mother of invention, citadel, motivated speech. So these look like maybe boon tokens, leadership, that maybe skill tokens or something along those lines. And again on the back, there we go. So you can look like one-time use tokens when you spend those various things there, including the no entry as well. And the final small one is this sheet, which has some health markers. Looks like zombies in flame there. Some walls or something. Another maybe hero stroke anti-hero marker, and then more of these which you can spend. So these one-time use tokens, so initiative or emergency broadcast or his own agenda, various things on that. It's a smaller sheet, that's sheet 3 of 3. So that's the punch boards that we got there. Here we go. So I mentioned if you remember side B, I said it was missing the jail and the tracker. That must be something that you lay on the bottom of the board. It's quite thin cardboard. It's a bit of a shame. Maybe it needs to be thin cardboard, I don't know, but yeah, they're knocking it off the board and then giving you some relatively thin cardboard there to add those bits back onto the board. I would have liked to see that thicker maybe. Aha! Okay, so we have 4 player aids, 4 player aids should I say, and here we go. Almost RPG type charts here about what you do. Roll 2 dice, you get 3 or a 4. If the Zeds are advanced, then I don't know, it does 0 and 3. Look at that. Same on gunfire attacks. So that's hand-to-hand combat. That's gunfire attack. Sequence of play, so that's always good. Actions and foraging, so that must be a thing there that you will get to do. A combat procedure, what you actually do, and then on the key. On the back is a symbol key, which is great because it looks like there are a fair few icons in this game, and it's great to have these available. There's also, as well as player aid, there's a Zeds player aid as well. So this tells you what the Zeds actions are, how they do, and yeah, I think that's just slightly different. It's just the Zeds actions that are on there. It takes some of the other stuff away from that player aid. So you can see the two kind of side by side at the top, and you can see there's more on the player aid than there on the Zeds player aid. Excuse me. And at the back we have exactly the same, the symbol keys. Okay, what else have we got in here as well then? We have some dice. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice. Now these are, yeah, they're okay. They're just dice, It would be nice to have something bespoke for the game, I suppose, but again, maybe it's just a cost thing on that, but a little bit more thought there might have gone a long way. We've got some standees there, some plastic standee bases there, various baggies. Then we have some cards. So what I'll do is I'll open the cards up and we'll have a look through some of these cards. Okay, so I've opened up the packs of cards because nobody other than me needs to go through the kind of anxiety of putting me near a pack of sealed cards with a knife to get rid of the cellophane. So I'll sort them out into some blocks, and the first ones that you can see here are these event cards, and there's quite a few of these, so let's just take a few and see what these do. And I can only imagine that events will drive the game forward as we go through it. So what do we have here? There's No Way Out. During this phase, after the first Zeds attack, neither side retreats. Instead, the Zeds unit, or Zeds mobilise immediately attacks again if able, or Zeds mob immediately attacks again if able. Player units cannot use any abilities to avoid the second attack, and it's got some various icons here. Some really nice artwork, and there are, as you can see from this, quite a lot of event cards, and each one, I should imagine, adds something different and unique. Now they have stars at the top, so whether the stars are some form of difficulty rating or not, whether you shuffle them, whether you put them into decks. We've got these here that say end on them as well. I have absolutely no idea. Let's have a look at another one. Disaster at the Lab. And again, some nice artwork on there. At the beginning of this phase, roll a dice. And then it tells you, if it's 6, it's no effect. Any other number, add 1 random early research card to the top of the research deck. And that's Act 2. So there we go. You can see there are lots and lots of event cards. Again, I've no idea how to play the game, so I'm presuming here that you will draw events throughout the play of the game, and that will help you drive things forward. We also have these fate cards as well. What do these say? Wear Mountain at the top. Community Organizer, join the survivors. Hold for later. Play during the action phase to place a new available regular or heroic civilians unit of your choice in the town centre. So maybe this allows you to add somebody to the game, a character to the game. Let's look here. Again, these are different colours. You have blue, you have red, you have yellow, you have green. And let's have a look. Major Malfunction. What does this one say? Play this card. Remove 1 super weapon component if you have discovered the super weapon. Otherwise, otherwise, A, add 1 random early research card to the top of the research deck, or B, activate the track, moving Zeds units normally with the fewest Zeds, your choice if tied. I bet the colours at the top, I just thought of this and I was screaming out because it's so obvious, relate to the various levels as well. So obviously the first time you play the game, you'll only have 1 colour in there, then you'll continually add colours to it as well. Now over here, we seem to have the various research decks. So here we've got a DPC commission. This card sets up in the research discard pile. You can begin researching the cure for Zeds. That says the same on both sides. And you have various early and late research cards as well. So let's look at this. This is a late one. Let's look at an early one first. Early research. Look, a distraction. Well, this is the current research card. Try again. While this is the current research card, your regular civilians unit can suffer 1 hit and then retreat if they survive. To prevent any adjacent Zeds units from advancing, this cannot be used to prevent the placement of new Zeds units. Curious, stupid onlookers playing versions of childhood games such as Tag, Red Rover and Keep Away were found to attract the attention of Zeds for short durations. Of course, the stalling of a group of Zeds by fools playing with danger rarely ended up well, usually in a panic. Next research, and then it gives you some dice iconography at the bottom. So that's early. And then we have late research here.
We can't reproduce this, hold for later. Play at any time to flip the results of any one die roll so that you are applying the bottom numbers instead of those on top. Oh, that's quite useful. So if you roll a 2, you can get a 5, and 1 becomes a 6, etc. They laughed at the man who found the mouldy bread and saw penicillin. Sometimes a fluke discovery occurs under circumstances that can never be repeated nor understood. It is what rival scientists call luck. Use the still current research cards, next research again. Okay, so that's the early and late research cards there. They look interesting. Again, how they drive the game forward, I have no real idea. We've got these cards, which looks like reference cards. So, yeah, you have National Guard, unit reference, Heroes unit reference, Heroic Civilians unit reference, Civilians unit reference, Security unit reference, Petra's Angel reference, Refugees reference, Villagers reference, Bubba's Band. My dog is called Bubba, so I've now got Bubba in the game. And we've got the Raiders there, and VIP Survivors, and Rangers, and here we go, Disease Spreaders, and Super Zeds reference cards. And then we have these kind of taller cards here. So these are Burke's Zed Party. And it's a bit of backstory there. Okay, it gives you some icons down at the bottom. I'm not going to read out all that backstory, but there seems to be Plaid Coalition, Zao Sakowski. But these are character cards. Okay, Heroic Civilians. Yeah, these look like unit cards. Sheriff Hunt. Let's have a look at what Sheriff Hunt does. He's got 5 and 3, whatever that is, at the top there. He's certainly from law enforcement, 5 and 3. His abilities are leadership. Once per action phase, he may spend his leadership action marker to give one civilians or refugees unit in a space next to him 1 free action. Place the leadership marker on his card to keep track of that when you use his ability. So if you remember those kind of, those what I thought were one-time markers earlier on in the game, earlier on in the unboxing, which are, let me find it, there we go. That's, you see the leadership one is there. That looks to be related to that. Okay. And then we got long range. You can make a gunfire attack from 2 spaces away, but with a 1 penalty. Tough. Each time he receives a hit, he then rolls his dice. Ability to cancel hits. Martial arts. In every hand-to-hand combat, he is allowed 1 reroll, and that result is final. And then law enforcement, and that's for a versus game. And it looks like there are a number of these character cards. In fact, there's quite a lot of these character cards as you go through this. And again, they've got the covers on top, the colours on top. And as I say, I do now think and believe that those colours represent the various levels of the game. So wow, that's quite a lot to go at there, isn't it? There seems to be a lot in this box. And I know there's a lot of game. I really like the idea of the kind of progressive involvement and of your characters and of the game itself. But that is what you get inside the base game of Dawn of the Zeds. Should we have a look inside those expansion packs now?
So, what do we think so far, people? That's lots of meaty stuff. But as I say, I've also got these kind of 3 expansion packs as well. The first one is the expansion pack number 1, Stepping Forward. So, live on camera with me, let's have a look inside this. Oh my god, I've torn the packaging. Wow, this is exciting. I don't know if you were a kid, when you were a kid, certainly in the UK, I used to collect football stickers as a kid, Panini, and that was a little similar to the feeling that you get opening those. It's just a shame there's not a stick of bubble gum in there. Okay, so what's in this Dawn of the... in the first expansion pack, we have some form of kind of instruction sheet there. It tells you how obviously the expansion pieces fit. We have some more punch-out cards, so I wonder if these are new heroes. In fact, there we go. They look like new heroes, and there are 4 inside that first expansion pack. So that is the Stepping Forward expansion. Okay, let's have a look now at expansion pack number 2, which is New Player Blues. It seems to be a thicker package as well. So once again, let's tear into this. This is good. Doesn't rip necessarily cleanly, but there we go. Okay. So again, there are some instructions here for how to incorporate expansion pack number 2, which is called New Player Blues, into there. And there is also some additional rules there as well. Let's have a look at the for some more punch-out cards here, which are these. Don't know what they do or what they're for. And then we have what look like to be some more event cards. There's quite a few of those. There we go. And some more fake cards, which are those. And they'll give you those on there. And again, they are colour-coded at the top. And then we we have Bouncing Betty as an additional character. So that, my friends and neighbours, is expansion pack number 2, which was New Player Blues. Here we go. Here's expansion pack number 3, and this one is called Rumours and Rails. Obviously, I will not be incorporating these into the game for quite a while yet because I need to get used to the base game. So there we go. Once again, Panini sticker book. Rip the packaging and see if I can get through this without ruining the cards. I've not used a knife. What do we get here? Once again, okay. We got more rules. We've got 3 sets of punch-out tokens. So they've got people on one side, kind of conversing maybe, talking, whispering, and then on the other side they've got kind of stuff that's happening, or maybe this is to do with conversations that are happening. There's also these long tokens at the bottom there, which have something else on the back. With not knowing what the game is, obviously I don't know how they fit in. And there is also some stickers. And I dare say it's not legacy, so this must be something that changes the components in the game itself. Okay, so there we go. That, friends and neighbours, is Dawn of the Zeds, certainly the expansion packs from Victory Point Games. Look, I'm really genuinely excited by this game. I'm ready for a nice meaty game experience. I've got maybe 3 or 4 weeks of lockdown left before I start my new jobs, and therefore work is going to get really busy at that point. So I think I'm going to take a good portion of that time to learn how to play Dawn of the Zeds by Victory Point Games, designed by Hermann Luttman. It obviously is an excellent solo game. I'm hoping I get the right kind of experience out of it, and it starts to really feel that desire that sometimes we have for a big, chunky, meaty game. I like the idea of the progression of the rule sets, so it's going to be an exciting time for me. Once again, thank you very much for joining me on Not Board Gaming. I'm your host, I'm Mark. Don't forget you can always follow us on Facebook or on Instagram, and that's always at Not Board Gaming, and board is always B-O-R-E-D, so it's Not Board Gaming. Check us out on Instagram and on Facebook, as I say. Do remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out our other videos, and one final thought: if you can't find anybody else to play with, there's nothing wrong with playing with yourselves. Until next time.